There are some other things we can do as a country. Stop messing with wage rates. Stop picking prices. Reduce regulation. Cut taxes on savers. Now, who are the savers? Is it the person making $10,000 a year with a family of 4? Or is it the person making $250,000 a year? Yeah, it's not the person making $10,000 a year. So if we're going to cut taxes on savers, that's what? That's tax cuts for the rich. Does that sound politically feasible? No, not so good. What analogy, what choice do we have? Well, we have two. One choice is the 1920-1921 recession. How many of you have heard of that? Exactly. Yeah, I saw one person kind of say, I might have. I've heard of those years. So. The 1920-21 recession was deeper than the 1929 fall. Deeper, but we were in and out. It was deep but short. In 1929, Hoover, President Hoover, Republican, did everything he could to stop the liquidation process, to prop up failing businesses, to keep aggregate demand high, to keep spending high, to keep pumping caffeine into the economy. And he made it worse, and he dragged it out longer, year after year after year. And in 1932, Roosevelt campaigned saying that Hoover was out of control. We need to balance the budget, rein in government spending, get back onto some sound financial setting. Roosevelt said this. He sounds so good, I'd vote for him. Of course, he didn't do any of that. He did just the reverse. And they did what? They made a bad situation worse, and it dragged on for year after year after year, where we had unemployment rates hitting 25%, employment rates at 75%. You can do that. But that's our choice. That's what we have in front of us. So, is it up to you? A little bit. But, I don't know. Am I optimistic? Yeah, I'm optimistic. People say, you're so pessimistic, you should be more optimistic. Yeah, I'm pretty positive that this is not going to be good. So on that high note, I'll entertain some questions. Yes?
Not so much a question, but a comment. Apparently the Chinese have already realized that we're going to inflate too much, and they're already thinking about pulling out. So
Yes, they are.
that's not good.
No, it's not. Right, and that's why I wanted to name my talk after Bob the Builder. Can we screw this up worse? Yes, we can. All right, you know it all comes from Bob the Builder. Right? Go ahead.
You said that paying off your debt right now is one of the best choices that you had. Many people are saying that if you have debt, down the road when inflation hits, let's say you're making $5, $6, $10 an hour today, well, that same amount of work will equal 30 once the dollar starts losing value. Wouldn't that help your debt situation down the road?
If you're able to time it, and if these guys right here don't change their interest rates, right? So if the interest rates keep pace with inflation, it's not going to help you at all, right? Look, think of debt as being beholden to someone else. Do you want to be beholden to someone else? When you get in trouble, do you want to be beholden to someone else? No, you want to be debt-free. And so they've switched on WPTF, 680. They've got that David Ramsey guy. And while I don't agree with all the stuff he says, he does preach, get rid of debt and increase your savings. And that's a good thing, not because he says so, but because it subscribes to the magic formula. And that's exactly what we need. We need more savings. Yes?
So if we know what we're supposed to do to get out of it, how come we keep digging deeper? The individuals that are causing that? In Washington?
Okay. Which person would you rather vote for? Person A. I am going to cut taxes on the savers. I'm going to raise taxes on the people who just spend, go out and get the plasma TV. I am going to want everyone to realize that we're going to go through a hard recession, but hopefully it'll be over soon, versus politician B who says, here's a stimulus check, go out and buy that plasma TV or that flat screen TV. Here's a stimulus check, we're going to make sure that your company, even though it's a malinvestment, we're going to prop it up. And we're going to flood the market with credit so that we have credit flowing. Which politician are people going to vote for? Which one are they going to vote for? The one that says, no, we can spend our way to prosperity, or the one who says, nope, got to go to the dentist and get that cavity drilled out. Right? People aren't going to be very happy with the guy who says you got to go to the dentist. And if you're a politician and you've got two economists there, which economist are you going to want to listen to? The one that says, raise taxes on the poor and cut taxes on the rich and reform merger and acquisition laws so that people can go bankrupt faster? Or the politician that says, deficit spend that money for your constituents. Go ahead, make that airport, that Harnett County airport extension to their runway. Go ahead, do that. Which one is the politician going to listen to? Right? I mean, it's sad, but we know the answer.
What happens when you have two B politicians?
Well, then we do this. We can add a little bit. Yes.
What's your opinion on the mark-to-market rule? Do you think that, I've heard a lot of people talking about that it should be repealed. What do you think about that?
Well, back in October, the SEC, which is the Security Exchange Commission, said that they were going to take a look at FASBA 157 and make a ruling on it. That's what they said. They've done nothing since then. Look, these so-called toxic assets are not worth zero. And since they're not worth zero, they can price them based upon how much money is actually coming in. And if you can price them based on that, then all of a sudden, this number isn't zero, it's a positive number, and any positive number here is better than zero. So will it completely fix the problem? No. We've got malinvestment. That's the problem. We've got to clear that out. We've got to drill out the tooth. But that will make it less cumbersome.
Are you saying we could have saved $300 billion with a change in the accounting rules?
Maybe not 300 billion. It's a fairly significant number.
A regulatory stroke of the pen
Yeah.
could have changed the T account to save us all those billions of dollars.
Yes.
Amazing.
But think about who government works for. Government works for government. Right? Government wants to expand its control because that's what government does. I mean, if you're a regulator, and it doesn't matter what it is, right? If you are a government regulator and you are there to make sure that people who has X disease, right, that they get the right medicine, well, what if X disease gets cured? Right? You're out of a job, right? You don't actually want to solve the problem. My goodness, that would be horrible. What do you want to do? It's a crisis. We need more funding. I need a bigger office and more staff members and bigger salaries and have conferences all over the place, like in Tahiti. So, anyway. But essentially, it would lessen and dampen the impact, and we would not have had the massive growth in government that we did witness. Okay, it's 7 o'clock according to the little clock here, and Derek said that I should stop at 7, so thank you for having me.